the good in the good in the good life. We put the good in the good in the good life. We put the bad in the past, now we alright.
Hey Lonnie, I got you. Yeah.
Hi guys, welcome back. If you're here to hear about the surgery, you're in the right place. So, when I was feeling around in my abdomen and I found a lump, I had my mom feel my abdomen and confirm for me that there was a lump there, because I was like pressing and then I'm like, what is that? That is not normal. And so I really needed to just be brought back into the moment, and she confirmed it. And then that prompted me to go to a gynecologist. And when I went there, they did an ultrasound for me like you would during pregnancy. And they found 2 masses, 1 on each ovary. And she described the masses as being as large as a newborn infant head. And later on, images would show through CT that the masses actually twisted the entire uterus and ovaries, and they were on top of each other as opposed to side by side. So these are very large masses. I had CTs done in March that helped confirm, well, you don't confirm ulcerative colitis by CT, it's done by colonoscopy, but the masses weren't there. I had an abdominal CT and there was nothing there that was really leading to this. So it's now September and this is only, well, I got the ultrasound in August. And, within 5 months, these things had grown to this size on both. And so she wanted to draw blood. She drew all sorts of tumor markers. And I can tell you, while I was getting this information and she left and she's like, I'm going to send someone in to draw blood. And I was by myself. I lost it. I definitely cried. It was a very scary moment. I just couldn't believe that this was happening. I had just been knocked down from ulcerative colitis and I had just gotten strong and I was lifting again in CrossFit and sprinting. I feel so good on the protocol that I'm on, and I can't wait to share that with you. But the protocol that I'm on for my ulcerative colitis just gave me this huge burst of energy, and I've been sprinting and just feeling so much better. And then to just know that there is something that's gonna stop it all again, having to rebuild after something like that was just really hard. And then also just thinking oh my gosh, this is both ovaries. As a nurse, I know that that's bad. And they're drawing tumor markers, so I could have cancer. And it just, when you hear that, when you absorb it, it's a very big shock to your system. You don't know how to process it. You have nothing to pull from. There's no experience there. And it's a big moment. It just, I think all the bad comes right to your mind initially. And so she drew the blood and she's like, I'll call you, if it's, any of these come back. And she's like, it's just, and I was like, I know it's really rare to have ovarian cancer. I thought it was going to be a fibroid. We have a history of fibroids in our family. And so I was thinking, oh, a fibroid, that's not good, but it's not terrible and whatever. So, it can be terrible, but definitely wasn't thinking ovarian cancer, which would be incredibly rare. It would be 2 to 3% for someone my age at 38. And she said they were complex cysts. So if you have a simple cyst, it's a fluid-filled sac. And, you can have those regularly throughout your cycle, not the size of mine, but they'll pop and burst, and it can just be part of your normal situation. But once they become complex, which means they're more dense tissue and they're a little bit more firm, that's more leaning towards cancer. So I have these very suspicious looking cysts. She wants to draw tumor markers, and unfortunately she called me the next day and I saw the number and I was like, no, I do not want this. So she told me that my CA-125, which is the tumor marker from your blood draw for ovarian cancer, was 13 something, which is extremely high. So the thing about this tumor marker is that it can be elevated for other reasons, any other type of inflammatory response. I have ulcerative colitis. I found research that showed that it was elevated but not 1300. It can be elevated during your period. It can be, because of inflammation. So any kind of other inflammatory thing that's going on in your body can elevate this marker. So it's not reliable, and it's not diagnostic. So diagnostic means proving that you have it. But still, it's, you have complex cysts, you have them on both ovaries, which I haven't heard much about anywhere on the internet. So here I am, if you have it, and you have this high tumor marker, and so the needle just keeps leaning towards that side, and she's like, you're going to be, I have already called the doctors, they're already aware, I'm going to set you up with gynecology, oncology, and they'll be calling you for an appointment, you need to get a CT, they're going to call you to schedule. And it was just like, these things just started happening really, really fast because these things were so large in my body. And the experience that I've been having is that they're like, causing bloating, and I'm peeing all the time. And if I had my menstrual cycle during, while these things are in my body, it's a little bit more painful than usual. So it's pretty uncomfortable. I've been having some mood swings that are a little bit more, and I can't tell you why that is. I mean, ovaries are hormonal secreting organs, so I don't know if they're just being agitated and they're making me unbalanced or something, but I don't know. I mean, some people would say even just the idea of having cancer could make you moody or whatever, but that doesn't, knowing myself, it doesn't feel that way. It feels more like my chemistry is off. Like I've come to grips with what's going on, but my chemistry isn't quite right. So, but anyways, that's here or there. So they set me up with gynecology oncology. I get my CT. The gynecology oncology showed me the CT. These things are huge. That's why we called you. They explained the surgery. This cannot be done minimally invasive when you're dealing with these size things with these high tumor markers because of the risk of spread. At least that's my understanding. And if you have other information out there, definitely share it. It won't help me, but it'll help someone else. So please share what you know as well. But for me in my situation, it's just, you're not going to have a laparoscopic where they poke these holes in your abdomen and they blow up your belly and they look around with the camera and they have these robotic little things and they go in and they like pick the tissue up and they examine it, and if they find something like a cyst, and then they bag it with the robot and they clip it and they pull it out and that's it, and they deflate your belly and just sew up these little holes. That's a laparoscopic. I couldn't get that. It's minimally invasive because of my situation. I have to get something called a laparotomy, and laparotomies are open abdomen. So I was explained from the pubic bone up and around your belly button, you could be opened. The YouTuber that I found said they told her this, and then she only had a little bit. She only had one cyst on her ovary, on one ovary, so they only opened her up a little bit. They didn't do the big thing like they said they might. So I'm wondering if they just prepare you for the worst. which is pretty good. You know, if you wake up and you had something way less, that would be like, oh, thank gosh, you know. But if you woke up and it happened, you'd be like, oh, they told me that was going to happen. So, so they told me that that would happen. What they told me is that first, before they actually cut you open, they will do a laparoscopic. They'll blow up your abdomen and they will just take a look around at the structures and they will see if it's invasive. From my CT scan, they said it looks localized. Like, that means that it's staying on the ovary. It's not growing into like my uterus or like my intestines or my diaphragm or something like that. It looks like it's just a sac coming off the ovary and it's not invading anything else. So that's a good thing, because you don't want it to be spreading, because then if it's in there and it's spreading around, they can, you know, insert some chemo directly on the site, or they will close you up. She said 3 rounds of chemotherapy, then do surgery to remove everything, the open laparotomy to remove everything that they can, close you back up and do another 3 rounds of chemotherapy. At least that's the protocol from where I'm going to. And so that's what they told me what would happen. And so that's what I'm facing tomorrow. Yeah, so we'll see. I hope this was helpful. If there's anything else that I can clarify about what is happening, I would love to do that.
Hi everyone, we're going to cut this video a little bit short and create a part 2. Part 2 is going to contain some pictures of my abdomen so you could see what I was looking at when I was trying to assess myself. I hope you like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you next time.